That opening sequence of no dialogue, but just phenomenal S-tier audio directing with the song playing, and you see the visuals of Lena and company fighting for their life, mixed by the credit sequence where after the credits are finishing up, you see the impact and the aftermath of what happened to their nation, the white pigs as many would call them. And I'm going to hold on to the, tried and true opinion that until we see a body, a character isn't dead, because I feel like there's more to Lena's character arc. I feel like she's still alive somehow. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked elsewise, but I mean, Shin himself in the 86 have definitely accepted that she is dead, but until we see that body, I thought Shin and company were dead last season there, the last part of the core, right? So I mean, it's hard to really say who's dead and who's alive, but nonetheless, they suffered many losses, and as horrible as the Republic definitely was, there was a lot of innocents that were there, just normal families, and to see what happened and how powerful that minute and a half sequence was with not a single word spoken. Leave it to 86. Man, leave it to 86. Now, Shin's been a character I've been analyzing for a while here, very much seeing that he's mentally disturbed. Like, he's someone who is suffering from PTSD and the idea of war and being treated as less than human to the point that he can't even have a normal life. The battlefield's all that he knows. And because of that, he's put himself in a peculiar situation where he is the most fit for what is a suicide mission, which is considered to have a 0% success rate in terms of coming back alive, though there is a success rate. With the right operation, it's just the people launching it will not see the light of day and the fruits of their labor. But for the 86, they don't want to be pitied. They don't want to be treated as anything less, so they're going to continue fighting, and it's so tragic because you see where they're coming from, but goddamn, while there's definitely acts of pity that I think are unwarranted, I think people, especially that scene after the debriefing, and there's that older gentleman who's basically saying, like, if you guys back out, I won't be mad in the slightest. If you tell us to go, I don't want to see kids the same age as my own kids die on a battlefield. And, it's one of those things where sometimes pity is something that shouldn't be brushed off, and I definitely think there's a time and a place for it. But you understand how they've been so broken down that this is the only life they know. But the thing that got me the most with Shin is seeing what led to his behavior last week, where we know he's inches away from death every time he steps back into the battlefield. And he's definitely been someone who, since reaching his expiration date, the idea that he doesn't know what a future is, the idea of thinking he's not treated as the same, basically the only person who gave him comfort, he thinks is dead. I mean, he heard her voice in the battlefield. That was the only thing that snapped him to and seemingly saved his life. But the fact of the matter is he read a note before the battlefield, and he read another note in this episode, and to see the note from the little girl who is blaming him for killing her brother, and it's like, you understand why a young child would be confused, but of all the people you don't want to bully with this, Shin is number one. This boy was seeing her and seeing all of the people who talked down on him in that moment, and that's why his fighting style was so different. And if it wasn't for him hallucinating Lena, he probably would have died and he wouldn't have snapped too. I thought it was the shard of glass that scraped under his eye. And it's so much deeper than that. This show's incredible. Like, the thing with this whole suicide mission is when you really break it down, like, if you were to send anyone on this mission, the soldiers pretty much might revolt and abandon the nation because it is literally designed to kill anyone who's put on it. And the unfortunate truth is if you send people that they don't like, such as the 86 that they see as monsters are fit to fight other monsters. And don't get me wrong, I do not like this, but the main difference, I would say, between this suicide mission versus the previous ones and the nation they were fighting for originally is that they had the chance to live a normal life, and if it wasn't for them willingly going back to the battlefield, they wouldn't be tasked with this whatsoever. And it's the unfortunate truth of just how war can change people. And I've had even people in my comment section mention how they're veterans and like they've seen this type of behavior firsthand. About once you come home, you know, you hear about all the time soldiers not being able to readjust to normal lifestyle. And to hear that, you know, in a show where Shin can hear the voices and things like that, there's these supernatural elements, yet the core theme of its real human behavior is being like complemented by people who've experienced things with those close to them firsthand. And that's incredible and so painful that it happens. And I mean, it just goes to show how bad war is, all things considered. It sounds silly and childish, war is bad, but I mean, when you really portray it like this and you see the realism behind it, I mean, it's hard not to feel heartbroken. It's one of those things where you don't really know who's about to come back alive, if anyone, because it's not guaranteed no success. It's just, if you had a life savings and you bet on them all dying, you're probably doubling your life savings. And the idea of the railgun that they're fighting and what caused the blast after the credits of last week, it's no surprise the devastation and the fact that they seemingly have maybe 2 months as it makes repairs, this Morpho, and that, you know, you can't airstrike it. The only thing is a ground team assault, hopefully lure enough Legion out to let an assault team come in. But otherwise, like, if you don't destroy it, like, all the nation's main capitals are on priority list number 1. And it's pretty devastating that, like, even if, you know, only one nation's destroyed and it takes another 2 months to repair the cannon, I mean, it doesn't matter. In 2 months, the next one's dead until ultimately there's none left. The thing that gave them the edge over the Legion was they lacked intelligence, even though they had numbers, so strategy could outbeat them. But now with this long-range attack and just the pure swarms and their facilities to manufacture the Legions not being destroyed, like, it's almost game over. And to see the diplomats really trying to strategize, but really it comes down to a suicide mission, it's devastating. It really, really is. And I mean, the show has been incredible. It's been absolute quality from the production on the visual side, the audio design. Look at the intro of this episode, says it all. Shin's voice actor caught me off guard, I think, the most in this episode, definitely in the truck sequence when he was freaking out about the pity, like, because she's saying, you don't have to go. As long as we destroy the Morpho, we're fine, the mission will be successful. And his rage, and you could hear the difference in emotion of someone who's very usually cool, calm, and collected. That really got me and really took me by surprise and just made me say, God damn, I see where you're coming from, my man. But the battlefield is the last place I think you need to be. But then you can argue, without Shin there, there's a very real possibility that no one will complete it and they'll end up dead anyway. So it's one of those things where they never should have been a part of the battlefield, but now they're in a predicament where if you don't send Shin and the remaining 86, I mean, everyone's probably going to die. Let's be honest, they are the best soldiers and the most capable, but do they deserve to die? Absolutely not. And I'm just, wow. I mean, when you think 86 can't get better, it finds ways to get better, and that's incredible that we're 17 episodes into this show, and A1, I think, is truly bringing their absolute A-game to this production, and I'm truly shocked by just how the quality of those giant, devastating battles really hasn't let up. I mean, let me know your thoughts and feelings and theories if you have any down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.